Good morning, Lagos. Welcome to the show. It is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. My name is Aaron Seth. You can also call me Brewer Number One or the King of Words. We are the grant on the real estate sector in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, and of course around the globe. We take you on a merry ride, making sure that you are abreast of the fact and you know what is happening in the city of Lagos and the entire world. My name is Aaron Seth. This is Top Radio 90.9 FM. We take you to the top and we stay there with you. Don't touch that dial. Just a squeak. Let Luminary play on the background. When we come back, it's going to be the new segment. Lagos to launch digital house numbering system in July to improve services and safety. Lagos State is taking a bold step toward modernizing city infrastructure by launching a digital house numbering system this July. This new initiative is expected to change how buildings and properties are identified and assessed across the state, especially in densely populated areas. The digital numbering system is being introduced to improve public services delivery, emergency response, security, urban planning, and revenue collection. By using a smart, structured approach to addressing tagging, the state government hopes to bring clarity to what is often a chaotic street and property layout. These elements will make it easier for services like ambulances, fire departments, waste collection, e-commerce, and logistics companies to find exact addresses. No license, no deal. Lagos enforces real estate registration law. The Lagos state government has officially banned individuals from working in real estate, such as agents, brokers, or property consultants, unless they are properly registered with the state's real estate regulatory authority. The announcement was made by the special advisor on housing, who emphasized that everyone found operating without a valid registration certificate will be considered to be breaking the law. Even those who hire or engage with unregistered agents could face consequences. A new registration and monitoring system will now be handled by the state's real estate authority. This system will ensure all real estate professionals are verified and that complaints from the public are properly addressed. The goal is to protect residents from fraudulent deals and bring more transparency. Lagos luxury neighborhoods match global prices, lack services report. A new report has shown that luxury neighborhoods in Lagos command property prices on par with global cities like London, Dubai, and Johannesburg, yet continue to grapple with basic infrastructure and service deficiencies, a new report has shown. Despite the premium cost of homes in areas such as Banana Island, Ikoyi, Lekki, Phase 1, and Victoria Island, residents face challenges typically associated with low-income communities, including unreliable utilities and environmental stress. This is according to the State of Lagos Housing Market Report 2025 Volume 3, published by the Roland Igbonoba Real Foundation for Housing and Urban Development. Federal government approves 17 billion naira for repair of fire-damaged Ido Bridge after cost review. The federal government has approved 17 billion naira for the rehabilitation of the fire-damaged Ido Bridge in Lagos following a downward review from the initial 27 billion proposal due to cost efficiency concerns and project scope. Minister of Work, Senator Dave Umahi, disclosed this during an inspection of the bridge on Friday in Lagos, as reported by the News Agency of Nigeria. He revealed that the reduction came after extensive negotiations with Julius Berger, Nigeria PLC, the contractor handling the project. 60% of national infrastructures neglected operators. Operators are alarmed that over 60% of the nation's infrastructure has been neglected, leaving critical assets like roads, ports, and public utilities in a state of disrepair. The treasurer of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Victoria Island branch, Babatunji Adegoke, said 60% of the country's infrastructures are neglected. He noted this at the 10th late emeritus professor M.O. Ogbenegbe annual lecture and the Civil Engineering Students Conference of Obafemi Awolowo University. He said 60% of the country's infrastructures, such as roads, seaports, airports, and public water systems, are aging and have either been neglected or poorly maintained, making them unable to serve their intended purposes. So it is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. We are the grant on the real estate sector in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, and of course around the globe. My name is Aaron Seth. You can also call me the King of Words. This is Top Radio 90.9 FM, the station that takes you to the top and stays with you. You can call us on 09136973485, 09136973485. You can send an SMS or a WhatsApp message to 0810713 08107137559, 08107137559 to be a part of the show. If you have questions or you have opinions on the news or what we're going to have as conversation this morning, you can send a WhatsApp message to my WhatsApp channel at Brewer number one, BREWERNUMBERONE, Brewer number one. Where do I start from this morning? Let's start from one of the news segments. Luxury must mean more, and that's my start talking point. Where they said that houses in Lagos cost as much as what you have in London, as much as what you have in Dubai and some other famous cities around the world. I mean, you go to Ikoyi, you go to Banana Island, you can see a house for 70 billion naira, you can see a house for 10 billion naira, 30 billion naira. But by the time they compare them in aesthetics, when you compare them in design, you go and you check the luxury rooms, you look at the kitchen, you look at the floors, you look at the quality of marble, you look at the tiles, you look at the ceiling, the POPs, the lights, the designs. It doesn't seem to compare. It doesn't seem to be at par with what you have in Dubai and other famous cities around the world. And the question this morning is, why is it that way? Why do we do things the way we do things in this part of the world? Is it because, anyway, I'm not going to say what's going to get me into trouble, so I'm going to let that slide. But when you compare what we have in Lagos, and this has been it's been going on for a very long time. Lots of persons have been talking about it on social platforms. We had this popular social media critic who was talking about this. He was comparing houses you had in Puerto Rico, houses you had in the US and the UK, as against what you have in Banana Island, Victoria Island. When you say a property is luxury in design, you find that the doors are made of thick mahogany. The floors, the marbles are great. The interlockings are excellent. The house basically breathes luxury. So when you say house is luxury and it is 70 billion naira in cost, that house should be able to, you should be able to compare that house with what you have in the US, in the UK, the aesthetics and design, the quality of the artwork in the house, the kitchen utensils, everything you have, the lighting, the effect, everything should be speaking of excellence. But that's not been the case. Now, everything we say on this show is fact. I've not said anything that is my opinion. I'm reading what the professionals have said in one of the briefs that they had in the past week about houses that you have in Lagos. It's a sorry thing, and I think we should be able to do something about that. Who buys these houses in the first place? That's a big question. Another talking point is infrastructure versus investment. What a repaired Ido Bridge means for property values. When you say that, when real estate is being sold to people, when you have a project, a real estate project, one of the things you sell is basic amenities, infrastructure. And in the past few months, or maybe the last few years, people have complained about the dilapidated state of the bridges you have in Lagos. There's been several videos that were trending on TikTok and social platforms where people passed through the 10 Million Bridge and they said it was making creaking noises. And you have several bridges in Lagos. So it looks like Lagos State is trying to do something about that. And so for value, it's going to give massive value to properties. If the Lagos State works on these things, you have poor roads. If those roads are worked on, it's going to give value to property owners, meaning that their properties will be sold at better prices, meaning that their rentals will be given out at better prices, and in return, the Lagos State will enforce its tax and collect monies from these persons and better the state. So I think that's a good one. The fact that the Lagos State government is looking into repairing the Ido Bridge. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we've got Barrister Kasme Anyang, and we'll be talking about some. We'll go deeper into. Morning to you. Welcome back to the show. It is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. My name is Aaron Seth. You can also call me the King of Words. We've got a few messages here this morning. Badagry is still struggling with road access, yet land prices are rising. House numbering won't help us much unless basic infrastructure is fixed. Give us walking roads and proper drainage first. This is Uche Eze. We've got another message here. Hold on. This digital house numbering is long overdue. In Lekki, some estates don't even have proper addresses. Makes deliveries and emergency services frustrating. I hope it's more than just another government PR stunt. This is Chidima Okeke from Dubai. You say you have a house in Lekki. In Dubai, structured addressing and regulations are the norm. Nothing moves without it. Lagos tightening real estate rules is a smart move, but enforcement will be the real test. Will they follow through? This is Ibrahim Adewale from Singapore. You're asking. We have this one from. It is 5:35 p.m. here, and I am just. It is 5:35 p.m. here, and I am just shocked luxury properties in Lagos lack basics like water and electricity. That's inexcusable at those price points. Maybe it is time for Lagos to adopt developer accountability laws like ours. This is Choma Bello from Melbourne in Australia. Okay, we have people pouring out their mind this morning. 7 p.m. here, and I just shook my head. 17 billion naira for a bridge is great, but 60% of infrastructure is still neglected. The state needs a master plan, not patchwork projects. Urban decay is creeping in slowly. This is Emeka Nwachuku from Shanghai, China. Bro, guys are partying this morning. You are not the only ones who are talking about these things. I mean, we live in the country, and right now life is extremely difficult for most Nigerians. So people are complaining about these things. Greetings from Shanghai. Real estate regulation is strong here. Lagos agents being forced to register is a bold move, but Lagos must also digitize and track every property transaction. That's how you reduce fraud. This person is Fumi Ayodele from Shanghai. We have one here. In Enugu, we are watching this Lagos moves closely. But let's be honest, until poor areas get real infrastructures investment, these changes will only benefit the elites in Banana Island and Ikoyi. This person is, you are Kehinde for Larry. I believe you are in Enugu. I'll take that again, because the state government listens to this show and they take good steps to help Lagosians. In Enugu, we are watching this Lagos moves closely. But let's be honest, until poor areas get real infrastructures investments, these changes will only benefit the elite in Banana Island and Ikoyi. And we have one final message here. The bridge repair in Lagos is good. But how many other collapsed or weak bridges have been ignored in smaller states like ours? National policy must include everyone, not just urban centers. Take that again. The bridge repair in Lagos is good, but how many collapsed or weak bridges have been ignored in smaller states like ours? And national policy must be included, must include everyone, forgive me, not just urban centers. You didn't say your name and you didn't say what state, because now maybe you have said your state, perhaps your state government or somebody from one of the government positions would have heard and done something about it. Anyways, welcome back to the show. This is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. My name is Aaron Seth. You can also call me the King of Words. I've got Barrister Kasme Anyang on the show this morning. Barrister, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, my people. Good morning to my classmates, the millennium sets, and good morning to Rotary Club of Ikeja South.
I like how you send your applause to you guys out there. How was your weekend?
I'm good. Good.
How's family?
Everybody's fine.
For the married men, you have many mouths to feed.
A lot of responsibilities.
Okay, so Barrister, let's jump in quickly. You were driving while I was reading the news, so I'm sure you heard a few things. Where do we start from here? Let's talk about the emergency, the action that the Lagos State government is taking to ensure that the emergency services, e-commerce, and real estate can. Looking for the news, they talked about renumbering houses, digital numbering of houses.
Yes.
So right now you go to a house where you see something like number 30 Ogunsholu, but now you see something that you can scan. So it doesn't wear. It stays there. From when rain falls, normally the numbers will clean off because of the painting gets old. But the Lagos State government is trying to do something about that right now, where the numbering of each house is actually digitized.
Yes.
That way it's going to help ambulance to come in freely. What do you think about all of this?
It's a very good development. That is how it is done overseas. You know, it's not just saying that Lagos is a mega city. Mega city comes with all of all those things. Like in US, Texas, you have all those numbers. Sometimes when you just put in the code, the thing will take you that to the where you're going. So it's a very good development. And I think they have started something like that many years ago. Property numbering, but I don't know why they stopped. And with the influx of internet, the usefulness of the platform that internet has created for all of us, it's a very simple thing to do. After picking all those coordinates, they can give it to the surveyors. They know what to do. Just align it with the system. So at once you put it even on Google Earth, any other mechanism, it will just drop down, on that spot. You know exactly where you are. I can even use it to trace and collect data, a lot of things, movement of people of dubious characters. You can use it to track them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Barrister, I think for the last 1 year, we've been talking about the exorbitant fees that people are charged in the city of Lagos when they want to rent a house.
Yes.
And your good friend, your very good friend and brother, Mr. Wahab
Tokunbo, the Honorable Commissioner for
Environment,
Yes.
they do listen in on the
Yes,
show.
he listens.
And we see how that if the Lagos State government has taken drastic measures in curbing these excesses.
Of
Right now,
landlords.
you have several laws. Last week, you were not on the show, and I was talking about the fact that the Lagos State government has removed all of those exorbitant fees that are collected by agents.
Yes.
If you listened when you were coming, on the news, the Lagos State government has said that any agent who is seen close to a property is a criminal.
Yes. Should be arrested and prosecuted.
Yeah, that's what they're saying right now.
I keep saying that.
So we've been on this for a very long time, but right now it looks like these laws are being implemented finally.
Yes.
Now, let's look at this from another angle. Will Lagos real estate crackdown kill hustle culture? Because these agents, whether we like it or not, Barrister, they are part of why real estate is thick in Lagos. Yeah. The only issue we've had with them is that they seem to be fraudulent in their activities because there's no legality in what they do.
Yes.
The exorbitant fee that they... But right now that the Lagos State government has put a crackdown on this, you're going to have people fizzle out of the system.
Yes.
Now we don't have enough registered agents who will run this work. Now, with all of this problem, is it not going to affect the hustle culture and drop down the monies that trickle into real estate?
No. I don't see any problem because now that they are moving out from the system, all that a tenant needs to do is just approach a lawyer. I have mentioned it several times in this studio. People that are qualified to deal with properties are lawyers, surveyors, those who study the estate management in the university, and anything that has to do with property. Because there are some skills you learn and the training, formal training, how to handle these things. But you see a situation where by a barber or a driver that have lost job suddenly become an agent. What do they know about all this? Some of them even go to, preparing documents, deed of assignment, only that they can't sign it. That's what we call franking. It's only lawyer that can sign that out, append the seal. So if these people fizzle out from the system, any prospective tenant or buyer will know where to go. You approach a lawyer, there are so many law firms in Nigeria here. There are so many surveyors. Let things be done properly. That is what we keep saying in this studio. Let things be done properly. There are so many people, professionals that can handle real estate, issues.
Okay.
And I'm so glad that even the government, because they have a listening ear, the Honorable Governor, my governor, our Excellency, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, he listens.
Okay.
Because the law has provided, like the tenancy law of Lagos State 2011 has provided for, renting of property for 1 month, 1 week, 6 months, and yearly. That is why they made provision for the statutory notices that are issuable to any defaulting tenant. So anybody can rent a house for 1 month or 1 week and they pay. You pay as you go. There are service apartments. So landlords should begin to, realign, strategize. And that if you have money to pay for 1 year, why not? If you are not buoyant, you can pay for 1 month. At times, money doesn't come regularly. So when it comes, you can pay for 1 year and have a standard lifespan to enjoy, peace and possession of the property.
Okay, Barrister, let's dive in a bit more. And you said so much. Very good. But when you look at these estate agents that we have, they make up a big chunk of the workforce for people who put properties out there. Now, when a state government wants to take this type of drastic step that Lagos State is about to take,
It has to be done.
one of the things you have to make available is digital ways of seeing properties.
Yes.
We don't have digital applications. We don't have applications basically that will show people properties. We don't have that. Do we have that currently? We don't.
I
We
don't. Only that we have
I know only
websites where people post.
Exactly.
properties.
I know a few applications, but most of them have not even gone public yet.
Yeah.
And so that would also even be advertisement, and I don't
Yeah.
want Lagos top radio to come for me. So I can't mention their name, but I know just a few applications. So is it not wise for the state government to even come up with its own initiatives to become creative in creating applications where people could search properties in Lagos? Imagine Lagos State has most of its things is called LA something. Why don't we have an LAP, Lagos State app? Maybe an LAPP, Lagos State app for properties, where people can easily just hit on the button and type Banana Island and type a certain street, and you see all the houses that are available, and you can see the ones that are available for rentage, and you can even see the phone number of the landlord or the agent who's involved to click on and have a direct conversation. And so this way you can monitor every person who says that they are agents, and the Lagos State government will be held credible if something goes wrong from the agents who registered under the administration.
If that can be done, it's a laudable initiative. But my only fear there is that, human beings, some are good, some are bad. When we go to conduct searches at a land registry, they don't allow you to go with your phone or to snap the title documents. So, and I believe if people do searches online, it will be very fine. But the software they can use should be one that will not expose title documents.
No, we don't.
So that people cannot scan it or, because individuals can snap that thing and
Barrister,
go and, clone it.
Forgive me, Barrister.
Yes.
We are not asking for people to be exposed.
Yes.
We need nothing of yours. All we need is that, because when you go, how do I do this now? When a landlord takes the agent who's involved with his property and calls the Lagos State government that they want to register, you register your names. The Lagos State government will ask for your documentation. When you show them the documentation, they can ascertain that this documentation is authentic. Now you don't have to post that on the platform. But the Lagos State government will tell the people that we have ascertained that their documentations are authentic, but we will not show it to the public until you go to meet these individuals. Is it impossible? Can't we make this happen and make life easy for people?
It is possible.
It is possible.
Yes.
Okay. Lagos, this is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. You can only get this kind of information on the show. We are here every Mondays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Top Radio 90.9 FM, the station that takes you to the top and stays with you. This is Property 360. We are the grantor on the real estate sector in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, and of course around the globe. My name is Aaron Seth. You can also call me the King of Words. Don't touch that dial. We'll go on this quick music break. Good morning and welcome back to the show. It is Property 360 on Top Radio 90.9 FM. We are the grantor on the real estate sector in Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, and of course around the globe. My name is Aaron Seth. I'm not here alone. I'm here with the fabulous, ever-increasing Barrister Kasme Anyanwu.
Thank you.
And we're discussing what's happening in the world of real estate and of course what's happening in Lagos in real estate. Barrister, let's quickly tackle this. I tackled this a bit before you got in on the studio, but I want you to join in what we're doing. Lagos luxury neighborhoods match global prices, lack services reports. A new report has shown that luxury neighborhoods in Lagos command property prices on par with global cities like London, Dubai, Johannesburg, and yet continue to grapple with basic infrastructure and service deficiency. I did say to the listener that this is not me scatteryamming, like they'll say in local palate. This is a fact. It's a report that was reviewed and was pushed out to the public a few days ago. The talking point is Banana Island prices, Munshi problems. Is Lagos luxury living a scam? Because we've seen several real estate critics who have pushed their narratives comparing what you have in Lagos State as against what you have in Puerto Rico and Mexico and Japan, all of these major cities around the world. When you compare the prices, Lagos State houses seem to equal stand at
In
par with
those
those.
locations.
But when you look at the aesthetics of design, you look at the durability and the quality of design, these properties don't measure up. And I did send a few videos to you, I think a couple of months ago, and you saw them from one of those critics. But what's your opinion?
My opinion is we're in a developing world, and the seaside attracts value to property. Most of those properties in Banana Island, Parkview, because of the closeness to the ocean, like Victoria Land, you can't compare the value there to the value in Ikeja here, where we have the dry land. So people are attracted to going to live near the seaside. That is also what is obtainable overseas. Properties that are located near seaside in overseas, some part of Louisiana and all that, have more value, rental value than those that are in the mainland. That is the nature, except those that are in the commercial hub of that city. So I don't blame property owners because Banana Island is of value. Even as time goes on, value appreciates too. But the only thing that the building engineers should lay more emphasis in improving the quality on the quality,
Quality of
the
house.
aesthetics of what is obtainable. So at the price will be commensurate with the peace and enjoyment, that the buyer would have to get from purchasing such properties, or the tenants living in that environment.
Exactly, Barrister. I don't think that just because the house is by the seaside, that means that it should automatically become so expensive. We can say, oh, the cost of the land would remain because of the aesthetics and the ambience of environments.
Yes.
I mean, you live by the sea, it's breezy,
Yes.
it's a beautiful place. You can
Yes.
always use it for shooting movies, for
And the
shooting music
freshness of
videos.
the air that comes in.
So that's understandable.
Yes.
But by the time you compare houses that are in Lagos State that are by the seaside as against the ones you have in major cities around the world who also are in such spaces, the Lagos State houses seem not to measure up. They measure up in the cost, but don't measure up in the quality of the houses. What role does the government play
That is
in ensuring that such excesses are curbed? To ensure that, because this report is not good for Lagos. This report I found in most of the major newspapers around the country. That's why I found this news, because I read it. It was a news that I read. And the fact that the entire nation can see this, it means that foreigners can also see. So those who are planning to come and invest in the country. So by the time Lagos State is being ranked amongst the major cities in Africa that are big in real estate, Nigeria will not come close. By the time we are being compared to nations around the world who push big on real estate, the quality of our houses will not be measured at par with those ones.
Government should set up a regulatory body that has to be working hand in hand with the real estate practitioners, like as done in United Arab Emirates in Dubai. They have a regulatory body. I mentioned it, I think, sometime last 2 months or thereabout. When a builder or a landowner wants to build, the government must be involved. And the investor pays in money into an escrow account controlled by all the parties. At every level foundation, government releases money. So that even when the building is completely, built, the everybody smiles to the bank. It's 50-50, But if the regulatory body is not put in place, you could always not have that quality. But if the regulatory body is put in place, you have that quality, because government will determine the quality of the material that will be used to suit that particular taste or intention.
In this climate you've spoken about now, where the government checkmates the building, right?
Like
the
in Dubai,
government
yes.
in Dubai, in China, the government checkmates from the very, very starting point, from as low as the foundation.
Yes.
What happens when there are deficiencies to these properties? What does the government do?
It's to attend to Israel. That is why you have so many collapsing structures here and there. It's to attend to Israel. All we are saying is summary, the government should come in, have a regulatory body, and in ensuring the regulations, the practitioners must have the requisite qualification. I mentioned those who can really practice in these businesses: lawyers, estate surveyors, and those who studied, estate management in the university. Like, before you are called to Nigerian bar, you must go through the crucibles of practical training at the Nigerian Law School. You must be qualified. They issue a qualification certificate before you be called to bar. Called to bar also is another certificate. So for you to practice in the real estate business, you must have that qualification, any of these degrees as the pedestrian. If you don't have it, you shouldn't even come near that place. So that professionals can be doing this thing and be responsible in what they are doing.
Okay, furthermore, because you pushed us to this angle,
Yes.
Because of the steps that the Lagos State is taking to ensuring that excesses are curbed in the actions of real estate agents, now that Lagos State government seems to be disqualifying these so-called house agents, what are the qualifications that individuals should look out for when dealing with those who call themselves real estate agents in this new phase and this new dawn of Lagos State?
Yes.
So somebody comes to you and says, oh, I'm the agent who is in charge of this house. Should that person be qualified? And if they are qualified, what qualifications should you be looking out for as somebody wants to buy a property or somebody wants to want to get a property? and rent?
What those agents can do, which I've always suggested, that they are always there as middlemen. Their duty is to introduce the tenant to the lawyer or to the landlord. Their functions terminates at that point. The lawyer or the
After introduction?
Yes.
Is that what the law says?
They will also earn their fees, the agency, because anybody that acts as a middleman is an agent. That is why you have everyday carry in the system. But they will introduce, the tenant to the landlord or whatever. In most cases, the landlords have their lawyers too. So when that introduction is done, they earn their fee after everything has been settled. That is, they don't need to have special skill. But those people that prepare documents and do the nitty-gritty, the major discussion to know what suits you, should be these professionals. Do you understand where I'm going?
Yes, I do.
This morning, while I was coming, a lady called me because they get our number from the radio, that complaining that where she lives, the landlord has borehole. They also have prepared meter for it. But the man collects 5,000 naira from her for using the water every month. I said, what?
Please, start again.
A lady called me, Lagos, please listen. What some landlords do is very, very horrendous. That where she lives, in a control, they have borehole. There's water. But the landlord collects 5,000 naira from her every month.
For water?
For using the water. I said, what kind of rubbish is that? Does the landlord not know that water is a prerequisite for habitation?
But Barrister, you are the man of the law.
It's like asking somebody to pay for air that you breathe.
Barrister,
those things are factored into the rent.
Barrister, hold on.
Yes.
You're the man of the law.
Yes.
Have you ascertained for a fact that when she signed the papers to get that property, that water was part of the deal?
Maybe they didn't even issue her tenancy agreement. These are the things I'm talking about. If professionals are handling it, the lawyer will ensure that you prefer tenancy agreement. Those things are there. Your own duty as a tenant is to be paying for use. You pay the water rate and other. The landlord pays the tenement rate, which we now call the land use charge.
Barrister, if she didn't sign an agreement,
yes,
or somehow she was scammed into not signing an agreement that water is going to be part of what she gets, we know that what the landlord is doing is bad.
It's very bad.
But legally, he's not doing anything wrong, yes?
No, it is also wrong.
It's also wrong?
Yes.
Explain.
There is nobody living in Nigeria that should be, made to pay, monthly or yearly for water. That one is not it's not for discussion, because
Barrister,
it is one of the things
most
that should be provided.
Barrister,
electricity.
Barrister, not
but
exactly.
Listen, every month you now pay for your own electricity. Do you understand? They pay for the prepaid meter and the charges, but this man collects extra money for the tenants for using water.
Barrister,
get it too.
Barrister, that's where I'm going to.
Yes.
I am playing an advocate, not the devil's advocate. I'm playing God's advocate. Yes, I'm trying to look at things from another
Landlord
corner.
should provide electricity, water.
Barrister, this is what I'm looking at.
Make it habitable.
There are certain houses that, for example, let me give a vivid example. You have two houses in the same street, a room and parlor self-contained, same houses. One landlord has electricity to provide, but also has pipe-borne water to provide.
Yes.
The other landlord says, I don't have pipe-borne water to provide, but I have electricity to provide. The one providing both pipe-borne water and electricity says, you pay 200,000 on a yearly basis because I provide both water and electricity. The other one says, I'm not providing water, so because of that, instead of paying 200,000, you are paying 150,000 naira. So he's taking something off your fee So by the time you have these two cases, I'm saying that have we ascertained for a fact that this lady has not had monies reduced from the original money she's supposed to pay at the end of a year?
No, nothing is reduced.
Nothing is reduced.
Yes, I asked her, nothing is reduced.
Nothing is
She
reduced.
pays her rent yearly. Nothing is reduced.
Oof.
So it's very, very bad. It's horrendous.
You should take this to the cleaners.
It is condemnable. I don't like that because most landlords do
It's actually criminal.
out of ignorance. But when they are picked and prosecuted, they know that what they are doing is wrong.
It's criminal.
No, it's criminal.
If you are saying for a fact that all of this didn't happen, then it's criminal.
Yes.
It's not fair. Lagos, we're going to go on this quick music break. When we come back, we're going to round up the show. It is Property 360
Every good thing in this part of the
FM.
Lagos
Don't
comes
to an
to
end. But the great thing is that we can always recycle. Barrister, your final words. We've got to leave the studio.
My final word to Lagosians is that everybody that is idle should get something doing. Don't be like begging, sitting somewhere and hailing somebody and expecting that person to dash you money. There's no free food in a free town. Idle man is a devil's workshop.
Barrister, your social media handle so that people can
My
follow you.
my Instagram is Baron Riches. My Facebook is Baron Riches. Then I'm also on TikTok, Cassie, CASSIE. You see a lot of uploads
Okay.
of the things I do.
Okay.
Mainly in intellectual property.
Thank you so much, Barrister, for making it to the studio. And you can follow Property 360 at Property 360 NG on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Twitter, now on X. And you can also check out podcasts on our YouTube page, Property 360 NG. You can follow Brewer Number One at BREWERNUMPRONE, Brewer Number One. For those of you who has communicated with us this morning from Dubai, from China, from Australia, from Shanghai, from Japan, from Singapore, from Lagos, from Badagry, want to say a massive thank you to you for being a part of this show this morning. If you didn't talk, if you don't listen to this show, we'll just be wasting our time. We're talking to Teen Air. My name is Brewer Number One. They call me Aaron Seth. They call me the King of Words. Property comes to you on top of 90.9 FM every Mondays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. As always, I leave you with my parting words. You may be a Christian. You believe in God's riches in glory provided by Christ Jesus. You may be a Muslim. You do the Surah. You believe in everything that the Quran stands for. You may even be one of those who practice the traditional religion. You play with unzu, mirror, and water. At the end of the day, all group, if you don't go and look for work to do, Sakpa is going to blow you. Lagos, goodbye.